So Camelia, who is a YouTube drama slash anti-MLM slash motivational guru commentator channel, she just announced a few days ago, actually, that she is being sued by a British therapist guru, person who is a best-selling author and does motivational speaking. Her name is Marisa Peer, and she is British, like I said. And this actually was announced by Camelia a few days ago on her channel, but I was just made aware of this today when I saw a community post by another anti-MLM, anti-guru creator who is SAVY, writes books, and she does stuff about, she's an author and she does anti-MLM, she does the guru type stuff as well. But the reason I want to talk about this is because it is pretty crazy, and it brings in a lot of different communities that I've been interacting with here and there over the past few years, which is the anti-MLM, kind of the anti-guru community that kind of overlaps with that at this point. And also the fact that I was in an MLM and I'm kind of in the middle as far as anti versus pro MLM. Also, this brings into account communities that or also my belief in free speech and being able to defend yourself, and also kind of the legal side of things, which up until this point it doesn't appear has really directly impacted the anti-MLM, anti-guru community. But it did remind me of a few years back, there was an incident that I remember between Meet Kevin, who is a commentator, YouTube news channel, and he was sued by another guru who is Grant Cardone for things that he said on his channel as well. So this is kind of, I think, adding to the list of incidences like that. And so, that's why I think this is interesting. This is still very fresh and new. So I'll be curious to see if any of the law commentators on YouTube who are lawyers, if they pick this up and start following this. I know there's a ton of lawsuits going on in the YouTube online, even in the mainstream world right now, which is pretty crazy. It seems like every week there's a new one, or a new indictment coming down, or a new charge. We had Josh Duggar from 19 Kids and Counting just yesterday got indicted. We had the Real Housewives Shah. We have Real Housewife Erika Jayne. We have James Charles is now being sued. We have the Without a Crystal Ball situation. We have the wedding dress designer Hayley Paige. I remember seeing that, and I think it's all on my radar probably because I follow a few, or I really like Emily D. Baker, who is a law commentator, and so I think maybe it's more on my radar than most people who maybe don't follow her. But it is all very fascinating to me because it takes into account pop culture and the legal side of things, which in my real career outside of YouTube, which I'm on my lunch break right now, that's why I'm doing this at 12 local time, I have to navigate within the law, which I guess most industries do, but some I guess more than others. But that's why it's been fascinating to me to follow this in the pop culture world. So basically the saga was, and Marisa has, Camelia has a video that she posted a few days ago on her channel, and it's actually, you can see it in the what am I saying? Right here sorry, my screen is reversed, so I have to like point the other way. But anyways, it's right here. It's called Marisa Peer Sued Me. It's on her channel. I will go to her channel and show you what it looks like. So if you go to her channel, you will know it's the right one. But she basically breaks down a little bit more of what's happening. But long story short, Camelia made videos basically exposing or telling the truth about what's going on, or pointing out some red flags of Marisa Peer. And of course, Marisa didn't like that because it might hurt her business. But it appears that Camelia was asked to take down the videos. She didn't. And then there was a copyright claim, which Camelia says was falsely claimed against her videos, and basically escalated because Camelia refused to take down the video, which, if there's something truthful about it, I support her keeping it up. So there's that. Of course, now they're not, because now it appears that, from what Camelia said, that Marisa's lawyer has served her with a lawsuit. So it's escalated to this point. So that's why we see the title that Marisa has sued Camelia. But that's basically the very short explanation of the saga, but I'm sure Camelia will go into more depth with this. But when you do hit at someone's, these are a few thoughts I had, which is if you do hit at someone's professional credibility, their career, that could affect their career, and you are effective in exposing the truth, maybe some things that they don't want out there, or some things that they've been building their career based off of that could be lies or maybe not true. I don't think you can be surprised if you're, let's say, Camelia or me or anyone else who commentates on anything, when you get a response, even if that response is not necessarily legitimate under the law, or in your opinion is not justifiable, whatever you want to say. And so that's something that's kind of in my head and reminding me to take into account every time I do a video or something where I'm not necessarily exposing, but talking about something that maybe I know could get some pushback from the person or thing I'm talking about. Also, I do get where Camelia is coming from on a level of questioning the qualifications of Melissa professionally, because like I said, outside of YouTube, I am in a world where I have another career, and I'm in a field where, kind of similar to therapists or any kind of medical or very impactful field, is that there is a legal responsibility and a legal gravity to having a certain title, whether it be like doctor or therapist or whatever the term is. And it's very serious, with quite a bit of regulation in a lot of the fields, and the one I'm in as well. And so that is there because it's there to protect, or supposed to protect, the safety of the public and the safety of whoever you're interacting with, because it is very impactful and can have very severe consequences if it isn't done right. And so I do think it is good to question things from anyone in any field really, but especially ones where it has very big impacts on people, as long as there's something to back it up. And from what I've seen Camelia say from her side, is that everything she was saying was truthful and her opinion. And so there's that. So this is an interesting one because it is affecting, like I said, kind of in the beginning, affecting someone who is a part of a community that I have had some good and bad interactions with over the past few years. But I will always stand up for freedom of expression and freedom of speech, and support someone defending themselves, even if it doesn't end up going the way me or anyone else would want to, in the name of free speech and expression online or in offline, really. I think it is always important to stand up for that, because that's one of my core values, is defending people for standing up for themselves, and free speech and free expression, as long as it's not crossing those kind of defamatory, untruthful boundaries. Even though technically, I guess, you can say lies and say things that aren't true, but the person you're saying them about has a right to defend themselves. So anyways, it works both ways. But this to me was also a reminder that even when you cross your T's and dot your I's as a creator, even if you know everything you're saying is truthful, whatnot, there will still be some that you cross that won't care and will still try to get you in trouble, or still try to cause a lot of issues with you. And so if you go to Camelia's YouTube channel, you can find information about ways to support her, or if you just want to follow from or hear her perspective. Let me go to actually her channel. I will exit out of this. This is her icon here, and this is her channel. So I'll put the videos up. So this is what it looks like. This is how you spell her name. This is the latest video right here. That is Marisa's, her latest video on that. I believe she actually had to private a lot of the videos about Marisa because of the lawsuit now that it's become a legal thing in the courts, if you will. And so, yeah, if you go to her channel, support her if you would like. Even though I personally have been critical of the anti-MLM community, which oftentimes overlaps with the anti-guru community, which I've talked about, I do think they do good in many ways. And so I don't, contrary to what I've been some of my videos that I put out is I do believe they are doing a lot of good, but I also am able to criticize the parts I don't are helpful or I think are kind of counterintuitive to their mission. And so this is one chance I felt I needed to say something, bring more attention to this, because it's kind of part of the overall theme of my channel, which is kind of free speech, free expression, even civil discourse. Yeah, that's the word I'm thinking of, or the phrase, where we can agree to disagree, we can have different opinions, but at the end of the day, we can let each other speak our minds and be heard.